I don't care if you're 18 or if you're 25. If you want to change your personality, I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can. And how am I so sure? Because I myself had a personality disorder. Okay, I was diagnosed with a personality disorder, and now that I'm out of it for years, I can tell you with 100% guarantee that it is possible. Because now that I'm out of it, I cannot even relate to the person I once was. Everything from the way I used to dress, the way I used to do my makeup, to the way I used to think and speak have all changed. Even the things that used to bother me have taken a complete 180 degrees turn. And that is why in this video, I will help you understand how you can do the same for yourself. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Ann Yu, and after doing my own transformation, I now make videos to help everybody all around the world do the same. I love sharing my lessons, my resources, everything here completely free of cost, no gatekeeping at all. All I ask in return is you help me do that for a long time by liking and subscribing. And yeah, now without further ado, let's get right into it. For the longest time, people used to believe that you cannot change your personality, that you're just born with it, or at least you cannot change the way you think after a certain age. Heck, one of my doctors even went so far as to tell me that I would stay this way forever and I will just have to learn to deal with it. That is why if anybody has ever told you something like that, I am your living and breathing proof that they don't know anything, and you are capable of completely transforming your life, everything about your life, if you're persistent enough. Even though genetics, your family, and your past experiences play a good amount of role in how you think and feel right now, it is 100% in your hands to change. And once you've completed your transformation, I promise you, you will no longer be bothered by the same things ever again. Your personality is heavily made up of your beliefs. What you believe about yourself, about the world, about the life you think you deserve. Fortunately, as it turns out, beliefs are not facts. They are not based on the truth. They are just the easiest to make sense of in our heads. According to Freud, the way you are today is heavily based on your past experiences, the things that happened to you in the past, family you grew up with, etc., etc. That is all nice and good, but if you believe that the past is the reason why your life, why your personality looks the way it is today, you will constantly recreate this loop where you're always recreating the past because that is the easiest. That is justified. You have an excuse ready. Lucky for us, there was another person in the time, Mr. Adler, who had some different ideas about this. Even though your past might have influenced you, he believed that you are currently choosing to stay the way you are, even if you say you want to change. And that is because you are gaining something from your behaviors. According to him, the discomfort of staying the same is more preferable than the loss of changing. And even neuroscience backs this up, as I was watching in a Jay Shetty's podcast with Dr. Tara. Even she says that your brain is wired to avoid risks over pursuing rewards. Now you might think, what does any of that has to do with personality? Let me explain. According to the famous saying of Dr. Joe Dispenza, your personality is your personal reality. But reality is not objective, right? It depends on the person. It is, in its simplest sense, the way you view the world and the way you interact with the said world. In even simpler terms, it is the glasses that you choose to wear when you look at the world every single day. Now that is great because that means that my reality and therefore my personality is all up for interpretation. And that means that I can change the meaning that I assign to it and therefore change my reality and change my personality. In short, I can just stop wearing these glasses and change them for something better. Now let me tell you how to actually apply it. Step 1. Become aware and accept that nothing about your personality is a fact. Yes, it is a fact that you have certain features on your face. It is a fact that my hair is this long right now. It is a fact that I have a certain height. But your personality isn't the way you look, the way you talk. It is the meaning you assign to everything that is a fact about you. Because being an introvert has nothing to do with having weak social skills. It is not interchangeable. And having a certain facial structure has nothing to do with beauty unless you assign it a meaning and you decide that this facial structure is beautiful and this is not. Now here comes the bitter truth, and grab your seats because this is gonna be hard. You are actually using your personality to stay in your comfort zone, and you are using your past pain to justify the limitations of the personality you currently have. I know that sounds a bit complicated, so let me help simplify it for you. So a lot of people I've seen, they say that they're an introvert and therefore they cannot get the same opportunities as somebody who goes and talks to people easily. I am saying it's not the truth. You are using the excuse of introversion to justify not talking to people and avoid getting opportunities. Because like I said, introversion has nothing to do with having good social skills. It is social skills. It is something that you can learn and practice and get good at. I currently identify as an ambivert with more introversion inside of me. But earlier I thought that I was 100% introvert and I would stay in my room. I hated talking to people. It would make me super anxious to talk to people. Turns out all I lacked were social skills. And because I was avoiding talking to people, it was getting worse for me and I was giving myself more symptoms, therefore justifying my introversion even more and justifying the fact that I didn't really want to take the step and get uncomfortable when I talk to people. Introversion has nothing to do with social skills. It is how you derive energy. Introverts essentially feel more at peace, they feel more energized when they get some alone time. Similarly, extroverts are people who gain more energy, who sort of recharge when they're amongst their social groups. It has nothing to do with if you can talk to people and make conversation and get opportunities or not. Your capability of holding conversations with people and networking with people is a skill. It is not a personality trait. But since you have avoided talking to people for so long, your brain now associates it as something that is essentially dangerous for you, because why else would you avoid it? And so obviously it stops you from going there, and it stops you by giving you these symptoms of anxiety, of discomfort. And because it is now avoiding the feeling of talking to people, your brain already has taken like 50 steps ahead of you, and it already knows that if you got the job, if you got the opportunity, you will have to talk to more people, you will have to network more, you will have to pick up calls, and it doesn't want to do that. And you're also satisfying your ego, because now you can tell yourself that if only I was more extroverted, if only I was more outgoing, maybe I would have more opportunities. When in reality, you are just as capable. You're just scared of what will happen when you do grab the opportunity. And this is also why I always say that rock bottom is a good thing, because it is the most powerful transformation tool. As long as you have the safety net, your comfort zone, you will never really take the step to change. And you will always sabotage anything that scares your brain, that is in the unknown, because that's what you've been doing all along. When you hit rock bottom, things go so bad that now the fear of staying the same, the discomfort of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of entering the unknown, the fear of actually taking action. And that is where you start to grow. Step 2 is to find out what you believe about your personality using the choices that you make throughout the day. Your personality is made up of your lifestyle, and your lifestyle is made up of the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. If I truly believe that I am a healthy person, I am choosing a healthy lifestyle, and I am choosing a healthy lifestyle by choosing healthy choices throughout my day. The only difference between someone who thinks they have leadership in their personality and someone who doesn't is that the first person is actually taking the action to make things happen, while the other person is waiting for somebody to tell them how to make things happen. In the moment where a task needs to be accomplished, the first person who believes they're a leader, they will actually assign tasks to everybody because they want to get the thing done. But the other people, the ones who don't think they have leadership in their personalities, are actually waiting for somebody to lead them. And that is why they don't have it in them. Not because they don't have the trait, but because they're choosing to wait for somebody instead of taking the first step. It all comes down to the choices you make every single moment. So now I want you to go through the choices that you make throughout your entire day. And using that, figure out how you actually see yourself, how you see your life, what your lifestyle tells you about your personality. Do you constantly choose to procrastinate? Do you choose to stay in the victim mindset by repeating your past pain to everybody? Or are you someone who chooses to take responsibility and takes one decision at a time towards your new reality and takes one choice at a time towards your new personality? It really is that simple. Yes, your thoughts and beliefs essentially make up your life, but they do that by influencing your behavior. And your behavior, your emotions, and your thoughts are essentially what's making your personality. Your body is capable of going out and talking to people. Your fears are making you choose to stay in and avoid them. You are capable of finishing your project, your dream project. You are choosing to procrastinate. You are choosing to delay the task. Avoiding it and never finishing it is a more preferable state for your brain than to actually finish it and deal with the idea of getting rejected. Let me give you a very personal example, and I don't really like talking about it, but when I was growing up, I didn't have a very strong personality. And because of that, I had low self-esteem, and it was because as a child, I often felt neglected by my friends, by my family. Now, if I think according to Freud, I will become a victim because I got this personality because of people in my past, and I couldn't do anything about it, right? I didn't choose to be abandoned. I didn't choose to be avoided by my friends. And because of them, because of people in my past, I have this personality where I cannot make friends, where I cannot talk to people easily. And because of that, of course, I'll fail in life, because who will want to hire me or even date me? Here, I have already surrendered to the events of the past and decided that I am doomed because I am choosing to believe that my future is dependent on my past. This is actually how most of us are living. Nobody's saying that it is your fault, whatever happened to you, but it is your responsibility to not let your past decide what you do in your present moment. So let me shift this all around according to Adler's point of view. I have a low self-esteem because I am choosing not to talk to people, because I am choosing to avoid confrontations, because that way I won't be rejected. That way I won't feel abandoned again. And as a bonus, my parents will also worry about me because I will not do anything good in my life. Making them worry is good for me because that will give me their attention, which I always wanted. And I'm also getting revenge over them by worrying them. The way to change my personality was so simple. All I had to do was put myself out there. And even if I got rejected, all I had to do was tell myself that, okay, maybe these aren't my kind of people, and still keep putting myself out there. And eventually, as I keep doing that, I will lower my discomfort of talking to people, because I talked, I got rejected, and yet I survived. So next time, I won't feel as uneasy talking to people. In fact, I will feel okay talking to people. And because of that, I will go and network with people and get more opportunities. And as cherry on top, I will even have a strong personality because I chose to go through the discomfort of networking with people, of putting myself out there. Now, how does that sound? Wasn't that simple? Now, instead of thinking that if I get out there, I will get rejected, I can choose to think that if I go out there, I will find more people out there who will actually accept me for who I am. Even if I get rejected by 2, there's enough abundance for me to find my kind of people. This is how you start to take control of your life instead of being a victim to it. Because honestly, throughout your life, you will continue to change. There will be many events that force you to change. There will be many events that test you if you're ready to change. But if you keep consulting your past, you will only recreate that past in different forms, and you will keep hitting your mistakes and your lessons because you're never learning. Truth is that you have free will despite whatever happened in the past. Your future is 100% defined by what you choose to do in the present moment. Every day, every month, every year. And that is also why there are a lot of people who recreate generational trauma, who pass on their trauma to their kids, and then there are people who put a pause to it, who do not pass it on because they believe that just because they were hurt does not justify them hurting somebody else. And that is the whole concept of this. Just because something kept repeating, a cycle kept repeating from your past, does not justify you still choosing to repeat it. Even if those before you did not have generational wealth, they did not make money at all, it does not justify you running away from opportunities instead of going and banging on its door. Ultimate truth is this, and I know it because I have been living it. You are what you think and believe that you are. Now, if it's a victim or if it's a hero, that's up to you. You will always continue to make the choices and act in accordance to whatever you believe the truth is about you and call it your personality. And then justify the life that you're willingly creating, intentionally creating using that personality. The good news is that nothing about yesterday matters at all. The only thing that matters is what you choose to do right now. Compound it, stick to it even when it's difficult, especially when it's difficult, because that means that your brain is starting to believe that you're actually trying to make a change now. And if you can, find somebody who can help you through this discomfort, be it a therapist, be it your journal, be it friends or family. But you have to understand and accept that discomfort is part of the progress. It is part of going through something unfamiliar. It is part of entering the unknown. And the only way to stop this discomfort is by not stopping, but actually going forward, taking one step over the other over and over again until that becomes your new reality. That becomes your new personality. Then success becomes familiar. Getting opportunities becomes more comfortable than missing them, and your personality shines through. Now that you know everything in theory, it is time for me to give you some actionable steps because I get it, it can be a lot. So these actionable steps will be your path to greatness, however you define it. First step, see this video as many times as it takes for you to accept it at an intrinsic level that you are your personality, that you have control over your personality, because that is going to be the base. It is going to be the root of your progress. It has to be strong. Next, take a notebook, take a piece of paper and make 3 sections. The first section, the left corner, you're going to write your ideal self, your ideal personality, be it about social life, confidence, physical appearance, or work life. If you need help with this, watch this image. These are the major personality traits, and you can pick your ideal trait for each of these sections. Then in the middle, write the action corresponding to your ideal personality trait. Since personality, as I mentioned before, is made up of your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors, it eventually comes down to the lifestyle that you have. So it's important for you to think here in this section about the kind of person who has that personality trait. What do they do? How do they behave? And note that down. For example, if I wrote that my personality is outgoing, then a person with an outgoing trait in their personality would choose to pick up calls. They will choose to go out and hang out with their friends and socialize at least once a week. And they will say yes to an invite for a party at the easiest level, and at a more challenging level, when you're ready, you can even initiate a conversation. That is what somebody who is outgoing would do, would choose to do. If that's too challenging for you, you can even read books about how to talk to people and how to socialize. If the personality trait is of someone who has a good emotional stability, then the actions are pretty simple. This person meditates, this person journals their thoughts so that they don't dump it out on somebody else. This person chooses to wake up early to get some time for themselves, to ground themselves before they get busy with their life. Once you've carefully thought them out, in the next section, you are going to write what you currently think and what you currently believe about yourself. In the last section, you're going to write down how your current self thinks and behaves. This will help you see how you are actually taking the action to stay in this personality. And if you want to go a step ahead and really get to the core of things, you can also write down what you're getting from these behaviors. Are you getting attention? Are you getting the feeling of superiority? Are you saving yourself from rejection? Whatever it is for you. Now, the last step, and this one's the easiest. Simply start making the choice according to your ideal self. When someone calls you and you've written your ideal person as someone who's outgoing, you are going to choose and make the decision in that moment to pick up the call and talk. Remember, it will feel uncomfortable at first. That is part of the process, but you will still pick up the call even if you can just talk for 1 minute. Because as you keep doing it, eventually it's going to feel natural to you. It's like when you first go to the gym and you first lift some weights, they feel heavy, right? But eventually you start to feel strong and the weights start to feel light. When in reality, actually the weight never changed. It is just your response to the weight that makes you think that you're stronger. As a bonus tip, which I really hope you will take because this one is a game changer, I want you to start noting down these little wins, these little moments where you did take the decision. Even if you took the decision as your ideal self 2 out of 5 times, I want you to really note down those 2 times and really take your time to feel grateful for making that change and feel proud of yourself because you actually took a step towards the right direction. You actually did something that made you uncomfortable and you did it anyway, and I'm so proud of you for that, and you should be too, because now you're telling your brain that you are the one who's in control. As you keep going, your jar of wins will keep growing, and because of that, your self-esteem, your confidence will keep growing, and your ability will come back, and you will trust once again that you are the creator of your life. That brings us to the end of this video. I really hope this video gave you the hope as well as the practical guidance that you require to change your personality and become a completely different person. Remember, it is important that you accept yourself just as you are while still striving for change. It is possible to love yourself as you are while still choosing to take steps towards growth. That is what makes you human. That is what makes life so interesting. If you want to understand more about how these thoughts shape your reality from a more spiritual point of view, I highly recommend that you watch this video next. And thank you so much for watching. All the best on your journey towards your new self, which I hope you will start taking right after this video and right after watching the next video. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye!